Well, it turns out giving your fans what they want is actually a sound business practice. Who knew? Marvel didn't, but everybody else with two functioning brain cells clearly knew that, and they weren't listening to anybody else, so what they were getting. But now we're getting something different, because it turns out that Marvel's new Ultimate Spider-Man #1 is selling really well. Before I get into that, let's take a look at this year's one Marvel official page. Ultimate Spider-Man #1 2024, written by Jonathan Hickman. Okay, so the basis behind this is that an evil Reed Richards, but this isn't the old Ultimates universe. That is done as a different one. The basis is that this evil version of Reed Richards decided that he wanted to shape his own universe into however he wanted. So in this universe, this Reed Richards prevented Peter Parker from getting bitten by the spider when he was a teenager. So now Peter Parker is in his 30s, and apparently now he has gotten the powers as Spider-Man. So he's starting when he's in his 30s, and he's married to Mary Jane. They have 2 children, and people like him, because why? People have been clamoring and literally begging for years that they want Spider-Man, they want Peter Parker and Mary Jane to be together. Instead, they're not doing that. They're giving people a bunch of crap, like giving Mary Jane powers and calling her Jackpot, and oh God, after I have a review of #1 at Jackpot coming out, and it's not good, people. It is not good. So it's really popular. So this Ultimate Spider-Man #1 really popular. People really do like it. They have some variant covers here. As you can see, here he is in the Venom suit. It's again, all the different variant covers that they have. People really do seem to like it. So let's get into this article here from Fandom Pulse. Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man is crushing it for Marvel Comics, and it's easy to see why. Yeah, give fans what they want, you're good. Don't? Well, that's your problem. That's really and truly your problem. Okay. One book that's actually been creating buzz in comic shops is Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man. The first issue's been selling out at comic shops everywhere, marking a rare win for Marvel Comics over the last couple of years. It looks like a blueprint for how Marvel and DC Comics should act with their characters, but will they listen? No, they won't. No, they won't. I'm telling you, they're not going to listen. But what I can say is that I did check one of the stores in my country that does sell comics, and I was told by the owner that people are requesting Ultimate Spider-Man #1. At the time of this video, they should be getting it by probably the Wednesday or so to be getting it. Yeah, so but people are requesting it, people are interested, people do want it. So it is actually making some waves even here. Last year, it was announced Jonathan Hickman would be returning to Marvel. Along with it came a reboot of the Ultimate Universe, a series that really saved Marvel back in the early 2000s, as Marvel Comics put their top-tier talent on the books Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, The Ultimates, with its launch spearheaded by Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Millar. Fans love these modern tellings of origins and early stories of the beloved characters. Now, the Ultimates, if you're a fan of the early MCU, that is where all the backstories and everything involving those characters came from. It came from the Ultimates. That's where it came from. So, MCU dev, yeah, all of this stuff here, this is it. So they really did put that out there. Okay. It worked because the creators were respectful of what made the characters great. Ultimate Spider-Man featured a teenage Peter Parker in high school. We got to see him interact with Mary Jane in a positive manner, while the main books were already trying to get rid of the character by having her die in a plane crash and disappear for 2 years. Mark Millar's Ultimates, meanwhile, was such a solid story that it became the basis for the MCU Avengers later. Yeah. Over the years, however, Marvel made bad choices. J. Michael Straczynski and Joe Quesada concocted this disgusting story which ruined Spider-Man Forever, where Peter Parker made a deal with the devil to rid of his marriage. From that point, it never felt the same, despite attempts of writers to keep moving this single Peter Parker universe forward. Yeah, that was the whole one bad day thing that just never worked at all. Fans have been demanding the return of Peter Parker and Mary Jane's relationship for years, but would Marvel listen? No. However, no writer seems to want to deliver that in Amazing Spider-Man because they're being told by Marvel not to do it. The recent Zeb Wells run featured Mary Jane with a nerdy black guy and 2 children, while Peter Parker sulks like a cock. Readers don't want that. Oh, they really don't. Enter Jonathan Hickman. The first issue of his Ultimate Spider-Man relaunch features Peter Parker and Mary Jane married with 2 children. It's what fans have always wanted, and when the industry is mostly selling to an adult population, knowing Spider-Man in a real adult situation and relationship only benefits the character and furthers the story. Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man only had 1 issue so far, but reviews are stellar, treating characters with respect and giving them a logical next chapter in their lives based on their morals and history resonates with fans. It does much better than the other attempts to make replacement characters like Jason Aaron making Thor a woman or turning beloved X-Men characters like Iceman gay. Yeah, nobody asked for that. The art does look good here, really nicely done. So it's not a thing I actually think it really does look good. And the thing about it is that when I come to understand, in this first issue, he isn't even Spider-Man in the first issue. As I said, he's not even Spider-Man in the first issue, but people really like it because they like the dynamic, they like the stories, they like the thing. And like I've always said, Mary Jane has always been Peter's rock. So you see them sitting here talking together. This is what people like. Spider-Man does a dangerous job. And when he has somebody that could hold him together, make his life better, complete, and he knows that, he can return home to this amazing person who's always going to be there for him. That is what really holds the character. But Marvel doesn't care about that, so that's why they keep screwing it up. In speaking with a retail comic shop owner who asked to remain anonymous, Fandom Pulse found that the books are flying off the shelves. Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man #1 is sold out not only there but in multiple comic shops. The second printing of this book is already selling better than 90% of comics out there, the shop owner said, and that's with people calling in for pre-orders as the second print has not hit stands yet. When asked why Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man is selling so much better than other books, the character is one thing, but it's a level of talent as well. Marvel only wants to pay a few writers, the comic shop owner said. Otherwise, Marvel Comics cheaps out on their talent and the stories suffer as a consequence. Max DeLandrio. Max Visaggio. Max. They use the clout of writing for Marvel Comics to lure in people who aspire to be a part of the industry, don't pay them well, and don't get good results. Max Visaggio. Max. Why does Marvel Comics do this? There's no editorial vision anymore, the comic shop owner said. Yeah, I am not the only one saying, a lot of people are saying this. There's no vision anymore. You can tell it. They're not interested in what they're doing. They're putting out these books, giving it to activists to write these god-awful stories. They say to themselves, you know what? You gotta like this and move on. That's it. Mark Millar posted last year that most good writers have no incentive to work for Marvel Comics. He proposed a royalty structure where writers would make a lot of money after 50,000 unit sales to bring in heavy-hitting talent. With how well Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man number one is doing, CB Sobolski and the company might want to reevaluate strategies and get people who respect the characters and know what they're doing working for the company again. Okay. Now, as I said before, in the book, he's not even Spider-Man in this first issue. What I come to understand, he's not, but people still like the dynamic and everything. Now, I haven't read it. I'm not even sure if I'm going to read it. Nothing against it. I really do like, Peter Parker and Mary Jane are actually together and all this, and I like that. I like that. Honest. I wish it was in the main universe, the one doing that god awful shit that they're doing, but still, okay. My thing when it comes to Marvel and DC, I have been burnt so many times, I don't think I have it in me to go back. That's just me. Reason being, these books usually start off really good, but then by like around the 5th or 6th issue, things start to get a little worrying, and that's where things start to get a little downward trend. Okay, what I can say is that it's problematic in regards to what is being done. It really is. If it is, they want to do something different. Okay, but I mean, and by different, what I mean is that, if the story actually does progress and actually keeps getting better and better with every issue, fine. Then I may have an incentive to actually check it out. But I don't trust Marvel, and that is just me. I really don't trust them because I don't think that they like their fans anymore, care anymore. And with Jonathan Hickman doing this, you guys see, because keep in mind, Jonathan Hickman was the man behind the whole X-Men Krakoan era. And it was never supposed to go as long or be as disastrous as it has become. It was supposed to be a couple issues that was supposed to lead up to something even better. But they literally, Jordan White, the rest of the idiots over the X-Men office, literally ran him out of there so they could take over and destroy the entire X-Men franchise in the process. So Jonathan Hickman is doing this Ultimate Universe, and I wish him luck, but with the way Marvel operates, it's more than likely that they may send somebody in there to try and step all over and destroy that work, and that in itself would be a real shame. A real shame. But for the time being, fans really do enjoy it, and I, for one, can say I'm very happy that they enjoy it, because Ultimate Spider-Man #1 is actually doing really well. It's selling really popular, and the fact that you actually get to see Mary Jane and Peter Parker actually being in a relationship, talking with each other, growing. They're already married, have a family, and you want to see that grow. You want to see these stories. I, for one, think him becoming Spider-Man later on in life is an interesting story to tell. But I've always liked the whole him as a teenager, great power, great responsibility thing growing up. But now, he has to figure out all of that on his own. So it's an interesting dynamic, but it's giving fans what they want, and that is Peter Parker and Mary Jane finally together. That's all anybody has ever asked for. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.